watching Numbskull News, and today, this is the final freaking week. Finally making this video, finally going to get it up. I mean, Oregon and Washington have already played for the Pac-12 title. Washington is the champ, of course, and I'm finally getting this damn video out. Sorry, guys. 12-hour days right now. I'm getting my butt kicked at work. So, better late than never. But this is the final week of the Big 12 versus Pac-12 versus the ACC in a contest where only those three conferences exist. And we use my point system to determine who comes out on top. And this is where we find out who's going to come out on top. So let's get with it. And for the last time this season, we're going to start with the Big 12 at number 1. Texas finishes number 1 with 134 points. They destroyed the conference. They had a great damn year. Got to give it to them. Number 2, OU. Couple losses there, but they still finished in second place. Number 3 is Oklahoma State. And because of how the Big 12 figures everything out, Oklahoma State will play Texas for their title. Let's go Pokies. Number 4, Kansas State. Had a pretty damn good year. Not as good as last year, obviously, when they were Big 12 champs. But not a bad year for Kansas State. And a pretty damn good year for Kansas. 30 points ending the year 8-4. Also, West Virginia ends the year with 24 points. Also 8-4. Outstanding. Iowa State comes in 7th. Now, could have had a better year, but under the circumstances, 7-5. I don't think many people had Iowa State finishing 7-5. But I thought they, look, towards the last several weeks of the season, they had a shot at the Big 12 Conference title game. It's not a bad year at all for Iowa State. On the other hand, Texas Tech, 12 points, finishing the year in 8th place. Not a bad year. 6-6, they're still bowl eligible, but I think people had a lot more in mind for Texas Tech going into the year. Disappointing, but they're still in a bowl game, damn it. UCF, 9th place. Not bad. Bowl eligible at 6-6, 2 points for the year. Not a bad start for UCF. At 10, TCU, negative 21 points. Oh, they fell a long way this year. A lot further than I thought they would. Hopefully 2024 is a better year. At 11, BYU. Boy, on the cusp. On the cusp of getting bowl eligible the first year. 5-7. Still, I don't think it was that bad a year. Man, some tight games, close games. They got blew out a couple of times, but they defended their home field pretty damn good. I think they lost 2 games. On the road, they got to do better. At 12 is Houston, negative 35 points. They've already fired Dana Holgorsen, which, I'm not the hugest fan of them firing him, but if that's what you want to do, it's what you want to do. I know they weren't that great, but again, they played some teams tough. And they upset a team. They upset West Virginia when they were riding high. So, not a great year, but not absolutely the shits either. All right, it's something to build on for Houston. Baylor, though, oh my God, negative 60 points on the year. 1-7. Were they 1-7 at home? They won 1 damn home game all year. Baylor? Okay. Go ahead and keep Coach Aranda around. I don't know. Whatever. At 14, Cincinnati finishes in the dregs of the Big 12 in the cellar. Negative 66 points. Boy, they got to get improvement all over the place. They just do. So hopefully next year they can figure some things out. Next up is the Pac. And number 1 and your new Pac-12 and final, really, Pac-12 champ, or at least the traditional Pac as we all know it, the final Pac-12 champ the Huskies. Washington, 163 points. They killed it this year. Going to the playoff. Who's not going to the playoff? Oregon is not going to the playoff. Still, damn good year. Damn good year. 11-1 in the regular season, 134 points. And look at this. Future Big 12 team Arizona finishes third place with 97 points. Damn great year for Arizona. At the 4 spot, Oregon State. It was a tough road to hoe ending the year with Washington and Oregon, especially when they're riding as high as they were this year and as good as they were this year. But Oregon State had a pretty damn good year. 52 points. At number 5 is Utah with 41 points. Still a good team. Never had their quarterback the whole year. That hurt them. And there's a little talk about that great tight end entering the transfer portal. We'll see what happens. But they're coming to the Big 12, and I'm excited to see it. Number 6 is USC with 22 points. And good riddance. Number 7, boy, I thought UCLA looked like they were going to be a little bit better. They finished with 11 points, and they got drilled by Cal at the end of the year. And speak of the devil, Cal is in 8th place, negative 14 points. Keep in mind, they were way the hell down there. UCLA helped climb them up quite a bit with that win. At number 9, Washington State, negative 24 points. They've won some court battles, but not so much on the football field this year. And they were off to a pretty promising start. That sucks. At 10, Colorado Buffaloes, negative 39 points. Man, it went bad and kept on getting bad. Kept getting worse week after week. Deion's got to figure out that offensive line. They're coming to the Big 12, and they got a lot of work to do. Number 11, speaking of work to do, Arizona State finishes negative 39 points. Oh, let's hope. But by far, the worst team in this entire competition of all 3 conferences, Stanford, negative 68 points. And they're going to the ACC. Well, good luck, ACC. There's you an instant win every year. Speaking of the ACC, number 1, Florida State on their 3rd string quarterback with 139 points. Facing number 2, Louisville with 59. Louisville's got a shot, but keep in mind, Florida State is a hell of a team, more than the quarterback. Number 3, NC State. They finished number 3 in the ACC. NC State, hell of a year. Number 4 is Clemson. Climbed all the way back to the top of the ACC. I mean, they were down this year, but son of a bitch, they came roaring back. 8-4 for the year. At 5 is Duke at 17. Up and down a little bit, but a solid year for Duke. At number 6 is UNC. Now, they were in the ACC conference game last year. Fell off a little bit. Still a good squad. 11 points. Number 6 overall. They fell a little bit, but still not bad in the upper part of the ACC still. Number 7 is Miami. I think they should have been better. They could have been better. Number 8, Georgia Tech. I didn't see Georgia Tech even having this, even though it's kind of a mediocre year for them. It's pretty good for them. It's something to build on. At 9, Virginia Tech, -1 point. It was looking bad there for a while. They climbed their way up. They still got work to do. At 10, Boston College, -19 points. Not a great year, but Up, lot of ups and downs, probably more downs than ups. But Boston College could have been a lot worse this year. At 11, Syracuse at negative 21. Again, they could have been better. I think there was room to be a little bit better. They let some games get away from them. At 12 is Pitt, negative 32 points, and it looked like that was the absolute worst team in the ACC. And as you can tell, they are not, somehow. At 13 is Virginia, negative 37 points. And you know what? I mean, I think they lost their first, 4, 5 games, 6 games? I mean, it was looking horrendous. And they finished horrendously. But you know what? They're not the worst team. Shockingly, that goes to Wake Forest with negative 47 points. Holy crap. And I don't know. Wake Forest has had a couple good years, and they just crapped the bed. And now, the final top 25, week 13. Let's see how this thing ended up. Number 1, Washington, 163 points. What a freaking year for Washington. Number 2, Florida State have climbed all the way back into the top of the ACC. Number 3 is Oregon. I mean, 1 loss, and that was to Washington. Well, now it's 2 losses to Washington. But still, good year for Oregon. If you're a Big Ten fan, you got to be excited about getting those 2. Number 4 is Texas, 134 points. Number 5 is Arizona. Arizona, out of all 3 conferences, the 5th best team, damn it. Number 6, Oklahoma. I got to admit, a little better than I thought they were going to be. But like I said at the beginning of the season, Oklahoma's not getting to the conference title game. I thought that was ridiculous based off of name value only. But 10-2. I'm a TCU fan. I would take 10-2 right now. Notre Dame finishes at 7th. Some losses. Still a good team, though. At number 8, Louisville finishes inside the top 10 for the year. Damn good year. Good bounce back for the Cardinals. Number 9, Oregon State. In the top 10 still. Good job. At 10, the Pokes, the Cowboys, Oklahoma State, the Gundies, the Crazies, being led in this day and age by a running back. Outstanding by Oklahoma State. Number 11, NC State. That's impressive. At 12, Utah. They fall, but still well within the top 25. Clemson finishes 13th. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good for Clemson. At 14 is Kansas State, and followed by Kansas at 15. Man, these Kansas schools did not disappoint this year. I know Kansas State fell off a little bit, but Kansas, 6-6 last year, 8-4 this year. Holy crap. I mean, the Big 12 is in good shape with those 2. And at number 16 is the Neil Browns. Good year for them. 17, Iowa State. At 18 is USC. Boy, people thought they'd be a hell of a lot better than this, but they weren't. Duke finishes in the top 25. Good job. At 20, Texas Tech gets into the top 25 and hangs around. Finishes with 12 points. Finishes above UCLA at 21. The Tar Heels find their way still. 22. They fell off a little bit, but they're still a good team. Miami. I mean, one crazy ass loss I know they had this year. But you know what? Not a bad year. Something you can build on. Georgia Tech can build on this thing too. All right. To me, that was kind of coming out of nowhere to me for them to be even as good as they were and get some of the wins that they did. They upset quite a few people. Georgia Tech's not a bad squad. And barely even at the end, number 25, UCF. Outstanding. They make a bowl game. They're in my top 25 for this 3-conference competition. Hell yeah. All right, guys, so we went through all the numbers, went through my top 25. Now, who is the winner? I know everyone's hanging on with bated breath by their fingernails, right? Every one of your butt hairs are extended to know what's going on with this competition and who wins. Well, I broke it down. Overall, the Big 12 had 9, ended the year with 9 teams in the top 25. The Pac-12, 7 teams. And the ACC ends with 8. All right. So if we just go off of that, like, oh my God, the Big 12 is the best. Followed by the ACC and the Pac-12. Well, not so fast. As been the case for the last several weeks and most of the season, the Pac have dominated the upper level, the top part of the top 25. And I put a lot of stock into that. But I broke it down even more. So if you just look at the top 25, the Pac-12 has 3 teams in the top 5. Big 12 and the ACC each have 1. Okay. You break it down by the top 10. The Pac-12 have 4 teams within the top 10. The Big 12, 3. And the ACC, 2. Now, when you go to the next level, the top 15. The Pac-12 have 5. The Big 12 have 5. And the ACC have 4 teams within the top 15. And you go to the top 20. The Big 12 actually take over at that point with 8 teams. The Pac has 6 and the ACC has 5. So if you look at that, whether it's the top 5, when you look at all the breakdowns right there, the top 5, 10, 15, and 20, well, the ACC come up last in every single one of those. So actually the ACC is the worst conference out of the whole competition. The Big 12 and the Pac-12 finished a lot closer. The Pac-12, of course, got out to an insanely huge start. I believe all 12 of those teams were undefeated in the first week of the season. The Big 12 sure as hell couldn't have said that. They absolutely were not undefeated in the first week 1. But the Big 12 have come back and actually had a pretty damn good year. But I have to say, even though they got 2 more teams in the top 25 for the whole year, I still got to give it to the Pac. They finished number 1 of the top 5s, number 1 in the top 10 when you break it down, and then they're tied in the top 15 with the Big 12. Anyway, that's how I broke it down. That's what makes sense to me. Yeah, I think you have to give it to the Pac. Even with 2 less teams, they just had, when you look at Washington, Oregon, and Arizona, I don't know that the one big team you could say this year in the Big 12, can Texas beat Arizona? Absolutely, but that's not a sure thing. It's not. And I think both Oregon and Washington are better than Texas. So if you want to look at it on the field, my point system, however you look at it, the Pac was the better conference this year. The final season of the Pac, and now you're gone. Done. Done. Goodbye. See you later. It was close. I got to give it to the Pac. I can't be a homer. All right, but it was close. Anyway, thanks for watching this. Thanks for the 2 or 3 of you guys who watched this for the whole year. Watch this whole my whole point system competition thing. And I'm going to bring it back next year. I'm going to do it a little different. I'm going to track the entirety, all, 9 conferences now of the CFB. And I'm not going to break it down every week like this. I'm just going to give you my top 25. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.